Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird and wonderful world. And today's a beautiful day, special day to celebrate Global Beatles Day, created by Faith Cohen, since 2009 to honor the legacy of the Beatles. This date was picked specifically for their first performance of it was, yeah, all you need is love, and that was on the Our World a program called Our World, and that was in 1967. So since 2007, Faith Cohen, is the creator and founder, basically the founder of Global, or you can use World Beatles Day. And it's easy to celebrate. You can just, all you need to do is just listen to some Beatles today. Just listen to a couple of songs, and then you're celebrating Beatles. But you can take it further if you like. If you could afford it and were so inclined, you could buy a young person a Beatles album and give it to them as a gift and say, "Here, take a listen to this." And especially if they never heard it before, I think you'd be doing them a service, but like a young person, give them a nice Beatles album. So, as you know, I have some Beatles albums now. I'm still only missing a Hard Day's Night and Past Masters. And Hard Day's Night shouldn't be that far in coming. And I gotta get it soon. It's been a little while since I ordered it from Frank's Music, and I'm so looking forward to getting it to complete the studio albums, and then yeah, then getting Past Masters. That'd be awesome. But I'll show you what I have. The first things I first collected, and this is maybe started collecting Beatles only a year. I would say only about a year and a half ago, maybe up to 2 years. I know it was before May of last year for sure, and it could have been earlier than that. But I had started with these bootlegs from the Star Grove, and this is all just the early years. Like this is all, like it says right there, the early years, greatest hits. So it has nothing of the cooler stuff after, when they start getting more experimental. This is your squeaky clean pop phase. Same thing with this stuff here is all their their squeaky clean pop phase. But it's great stuff, and no, I still kind of they still sound pretty darn great for what they are. So, but they're bootlegs, and I don't know how I feel about that. But I had to have all the albums, right? I now have Please Please Me. I now have With the Beatles. I now have put that the other way. I now have uh Beatles for Sale. Yeah. Help. And make sure it's all pointing in the proper direction there. Rubber Soul, Revolver, Doctor Doctor Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Club Hearts Club Band. I always want to say Club Hearts Band, but no, it's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I'll get out of that. I don't know why my brain always goes there. Of course, the Magical Mystery Tour, which I really do enjoy. I really love that one. Um, the White Album. I even really enjoy all of this, even the second half, even the music. You can't have it without the other. Yeah, there's still six great Beatles songs on there, and then seven songs of complimentary instrumental stuff that's for the. And I've only recently watched this, maybe about 6 months ago. I'm pretty sure it was around January. I always say around January. It was around my birthday. I had those couple of days off from my birthday, and I think that's when I watched the actual movie for the first time in its completion. Only seen small parts here and there, so I really had no idea of the whole context of everything. But yeah, and I still think one of my I think my favorite line in that movie is is from Ringo Starr. I think it was John who was trying to go through something, and there was like a barrier, and he couldn't get through it. And he said, "I think this is Beatle proof." And then Ringo Starr answers, "Nothing is Beatle proof." And I just that should crack me up. I love that line. So of course, you got Abbey Road, which is my favorite from when I had figured. So I am due to do a new full ranking of all the albums again now that I own more of them. So let it be naked, which is awesome. And then I got the first live at the BBC, which is awesome, and which I really enjoy much more than I've than you know. I love the mix of this. I love the flow. I love the mix. This is just such a great thing just to put on, and this is might be what I might be playing today at one point, to celebrate Beatles Day. I think that's what I'm going to be putting on. Yeah. I've been going through my box with my music I need to get to. I have a lot of music to get through, but because I keep getting new CDs, I gotta hold back on that. I just can't resist sometimes, but especially when they're at great prices like they were at Mass Media. Yeah, I had to take advantage, but I'm having fun. I am going through it, and it's forcing me to listen to more music than yeah. So no, it's all good. I love getting to more music, and also I had gotten this from Larry Graves, which is a beautiful gift. Of course, my only Paul McCartney solo album that I own, and of course I have at least a greatest hits of John Lennon, which is awesome. I had to at least get that. I'll most likely get more eventually, but I'm very happy with I'm very happy with this collection. Now, I just want to quickly put these back in there, just so yeah, just so I can get ready to show you something else in a minute. So yeah, again, celebrate the Beatles today. Thank you again to Faith Cohen for starting this up. And she was thinking, and from her own words, I watched a few videos, and there was one little interview that she did, and she was saying that she thought, well, she wants to get it on the calendar. It's not written on the calendar, but she wants to get it on the calendar. And she was thinking, if they have stupid days, okay, if they can have a pirate talk day, then then why can't they have the Beatles Day, like global Beatles Day, because their influence it's worldwide, of course. Now, a while back, and I don't remember exactly when I did it, but I had taken the time to go through a few days to go through all the Beatles albums, and most of those I didn't even have all of them. I haven't even owned all the CDs at this point. I only had a few of the CDs, but I went, and I listened to them all on YouTube. And but now that I actually have the albums, I want to go through them again, do another ranking and ratings of them, because I started with from the beginning. So you can, if you want to pause each one to take a look at, my scoring, my ranking as I go along each album. You know, that's with the Beatles. Those are my scores and rankings. That's all out of tens. And then to get the average, I just add up all the numbers and I divide it by how many songs there is, and that's what you get the number from. And so, again, when I'm doing the rankings like that, it's all song by song based. It doesn't really reflect how the overall album feels. You're just going, this is my rating for each of these songs, and it's a pretty basic. So a Hard Day's Night, which I still don't have. This is the only one I don't have. from that early stuff, of course. But I have Beatles for sale. There's the numbers. As you see, the numbers are always pretty darn high because I really do enjoy and like each of these songs. Yeah, when we get to a lower score, I'll like on a song, I'll point it out. But yeah, mostly they don't really get much lower than 8.5. Not that I've been seeing. There's Rubber Soul, and there's Revolver, which a 9.250, which is a pretty darn good score. So I mean that things are starting to get a little bit better. Oh yeah, then you get the Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and those get a big score. There's only two 8.5s, and all the rest are nines and higher. So which is great. And then Magical Mystery Tour, which you see I really enjoy. I do like that. Again, nothing got under 8.5 so far. I don't see anything. Um, Here's the White Album. There's the side A, the first CD there, and then you get the second CD. Yeah, and then both A plus B, divided by two equals a full score of 9.421. It had to be that way for because it's a double album. There has to be certain allocations. Yeah, I thought that was just a little bit more fair to do it this way. Well, yeah, probably the least highest score, but I'm going to be probably re-evaluating that when I play it again. When I do this again, I'm going to like these scores are every score here probably will change. So we'll see how the order ends up. We'll be seeing that in a moment. There's Abbey Road, which is see it's a 9.794, which of course nothing got under a nine. There's two nines, and everything else is above that. So that like I love everything. I love everything on there. And then there's Let It Be, which is awesome too. So that's the score for that. And then of course, which I still don't have but really want, Past Masters. That would be side A, which to get that score. Of course, they're all fantastic songs, and I can't, I couldn't give anything less. I think, and pretty much same with this. I couldn't really give anything less. So, so when I ranked all the albums, that was the order they came out. So my favorite probably was Abbey Road, which it is, and then Past Masters is kind of like not far behind, and then Let It Be, and then Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and yeah, in that order. So I can't wait to get Hard Day's Night and Past Masters because they're up there in the top five. Past Masters totally counts. Yeah, I need to get all of that. All right, I think I am going to wind down a little bit here, and I don't know if I can think of anything else to say for celebrating Beatles. It's just that yeah, thanks to Larry Graves, of course, for inspiring me to really give a focus on the Beatles. I mean, I always liked the Beatles, but I just I never really even considered to get any Beatles and until I was really watching Larry Graves, you know, rave about them like he has. And it's kind of a shame that he's on a little break. Totally understandable, totally deserved, and I really just wish him well. That's the top priority is his health, his peace of mind, and everything. And this is a really good break. But you think he would just take for today being Global Beatles Day, just a little video to celebrate the Beatles. I think that'd be pretty cool. But no, it's up to him. But yeah, I would love to see him do a little celebration of the Beatles. He may tell he could tell how he first got into the Beatles and that, but he's talked a lot about the Beatles. I would suggest going into his Beatles playlist and checking out. Because yeah, if you want to really celebrate the Beatles, go and check out some Larry Graves Beatles stuff. Absolutely. And so Larry, just get well. That's the main part. I can't wait to see you when you come back. I do miss you on YouTube, of course. All right, I think that's all I want to say. Of course, I know I love you guys because all you need is love. Da 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 da. And I truly, for a band that's not necessarily political, okay, those songs, those songs can be, especially "All You Need Is Love," can be seen a bit as a political song. They're saying this is, the state of the world, and you know, they have positive messages and uplifting sentiment in their music. They're a highlight, and I'm happy that they exist. I do love this collection. So look forward to all that, and it probably won't be until for probably another couple, at least 3, 4, 5 more weeks before I go into doing that Beatles stuff. But I am going to go and do another full ranking of all the Beatles stuff as as soon as I can. Like I said, there's so much other music I do really want to try to catch up on, and I'm having fun with it. Okay, okay, I'm done. I'm done. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do because I will love you forever, greatly appreciate it. Don't be afraid to hit that like button and leave me comments. Tell me how you're going to celebrate, Global Beatles Day. And okay, everybody, just be safe, take care. I will see you on the flip side. And everybody, please have a great day, evening, morning, night, or afternoon, wherever you may be. Listen to some Beatles and peace.